Shauna. I want to tell you about a position if you're a notary or a loan signing agent, something you never decided to do, which is to become a permit runner. Or you might have heard the term notary permit runner or permit expediter. Basically, the reason why they want you to add notary in front of it or whatever is because when you get these permits require notarization, and who better to do it but you, who is already a notary. So that's the reason why they're saying adding this to your income if you're a notary or loan signing agent, adding this hustle into your gig of portfolio is a good thing because you are already one piece of the pie. So what is a notary permit runner or whatever? Basically, say somebody has a house and they're deciding to build a porch in their backyard. Well, they need a permit from the city saying, yeah, it's okay to build that porch in your backyard. The owner might be like, yeah, I want to build this porch, but I don't feel like having to figure out how to get the permit and what office I got to go to and how to get it signed and go to a notary. They might just hire you, who then is like, okay, I'll do it. I'll go to this office and I'll get the permits pulled and I'll get it approved and I'll give it to you, who then you can give to your construction crew to then build your porch. Basically, that's how it is. Whether it's they want to build a pool or people want to do a new roof on their house or do some kind of electrical or plumbing, they need permits from the city to say it's okay and safe to do this. And that's where you come in. You charge your services to be like, I'll go get the permits. You can charge anywhere from like $75 to $150 to have permits pulled. You got to be reasonable. Some people you can charge less, some people charge more. It just depends on what neighborhood you in. You also got to understand the travel costs. Like if you're in a large city like I am, I'm in Houston, Texas, the permit office, city hall and all that, it's not that far. It's maybe a 20-minute ride. But if you live outside the city and you got to come into the city permit and you're talking like an hour drive, well, you got to start charging a little bit more. So if you're already a notary, then you already have your notary journal, your notary stamp, your notary badge, all that good stuff. Cool beans, because that's all you need on that end. Now, other things you need, well, and your notary commission does because you're a notary. And now the other thing is you're going to guarantee need materials or to even start a business like this is that you're going to have a vehicle. You should, most of you, if you're doing like loan signings or whatnot, you probably do. A computer, which most of you already have because you're watching this video now. If not, you're on your phone, and that's, I wouldn't say that's good enough. I mean, you can start with that, but you're gonna need a little bit more than that. Signing up with eFax would also be a pretty good idea. Like basically it's a fax machine online, because there will be times you will have to fax things, and if you don't want to have to buy a fax machine, so just buy a fax service online where you can just scan it from your computer and then fax it from your computer, or scan it from your printer and then fax it from your computer. Then you're gonna want like a mileage ledger. I mean, they have apps for that, free apps, but keep track of your apps. That way you can like incorporate all that into your pricing as well. The type of clients, like who would you be selling your service to? You do have personal clients or private clients, meaning people who own homes that want to get work or different things done to their house. But your majority of your business will come from like companies like air conditioning companies, construction companies, billboard companies, roofers, electricians, pool people, pool contractors, solar panel people, remodeling companies. Those are your people you want to go to. Now you might like, well, how do I even like find those people? I know the more important is like how you pull appointments and stuff, but even if I started this business, how do I find these people? Basically just Google the ones in your area. It's as simple as that. Google the people, pool company near me, AC people near me. Those are your clients. Now you're like, well, how do I do this whole permit game? Here's where this is you need to start getting self-taught part, right? Because I can't tell you specifically, because every state, every city is different. I can show you an example of a permit, but that's not what your permit is going to look like. And then you don't even have to worry about, oh, so I got to fill all this information out. And no, that's what your client does. Your client fills that out. Now, what you need to do is become familiarized, that's not right, whatever that word is, with that permit within your city, because you don't want them to make any mistakes. Because if they make mistakes on it, you take it to the permit office and you try to submit it and they be like, no, this is wrong. we can't approve this. Then you have to go back to that client and be like, you need to fix this. Then you got to go back. So you need to familiarize with that permit. Permits is just basically a form saying what we want to do, who is our company, where we're going with, what's the measurements here, and da 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 da. That's basically what the permits are. It's basically just getting permission to do something, you feel me? Matter of fact, say you live outside the city and it'll take you an hour and a half to drive in the city to your permit office, an hour and a half back. What you do is you can always mail your permits in. It takes longer, it's slow mail, but that's another way to do it. So, like I said, to do these permits, you're not the one filling out these permits, your person is. Now, it's cool to have some extra copies on you of all these different type of permits. I would also say visit the permit office, get familiarized to where everything is and what department is for which department. That way you know. It's one of those, once you in the game and like you do it a few times and you realize, okay, make sure this form is right. I take these blueprints here, I take the form here, I go to this specific office, I get in line, I give them the paperwork. And some places like pool companies, I think, they even give you your permits the same day. It's 2 other ones. Other places, it might be a couple of days and you can go pick up the permit, or they'll mail it to you and you bring the permit to that person. Now, how do I get paid? So do I get the money beforehand or after? Because the reason why I say this is because permits cost money. So when you go to apply for the permit, they're gonna charge you and like, okay, you want this permit? Pay us this amount of money. So typically you want them to pay you beforehand. You say, yo, here's how much the permit is, you have to pay for that, and then here's how much my fee is, you have to pay me for that. Now, some people will try to write you one big check, say the permit is 50 bucks and you charge 100 bucks, and they just give you a check for 150 bucks. You wanted them to write separate checks, but if they do, just deposit money and then pay for the permit. Easy peasy, right? Now, you gotta be careful of the ones who say, we won't pay you anything until you give us the permit. Just don't work with those people. You're like, it's like going to Amazon and saying, hey, Amazon, I like that purse. Send me that purse now. And once I get it, I'll pay you. Amazon ain't gonna have that. They want their money then, and then they'll send you a purse. So people who demand the work before they even pay, don't even bother with them. Because there are some companies that are like that and they're just trying to get over you, because then you'll give them your permit, you send them the invoice, and then you never hear back from them. That kind of situation. So yeah, now you're like, these companies, I found plenty of them. How do I get them to take my services? There's 3 ways. First way, you can go in person, go to the office and be like, hi, I'm so-and-so. And what you do is you make yourself a brochure of all the permits that you provide. So say if you like, it's a lot of different permits. I just want to focus on pool permits and AC permits because I know where part of the office is. I know where those are. I know exactly how those forms are supposed to be filled out. That's the only ones I'm going to focus on. Okay, you make your brochure saying, hi, I'm Shaunasagaji and I will get you pool permits and AC permits. Here's my fee and I can get these to you. Would you like to contract me on? Don't go to a construction site knowing that you only do those. You only good at pool and AC. Go to a construction company and be like, have on your brochure, oh, you also do roofing permits and you do plumbing permits, because then they'll ask you about their services and then you're like, ooh, I don't know those quite well yet. So only put the services that you provide, and once you get better at it, add those on there. I'm telling you, it's not as complicated as you think. If you're thinking, oh man, that's too much. It's pretty simple. So go in person, you be like, here's a flyer with my business card, or here's a brochure with my business card attached to it. Now typically you don't want to just leave it at the front desk. You're like, can I speak to whoever is in charge, the manager, the boss, or whatever. Hand that to them. If you can't, fine. Give it to them and then say, can I get a business card from you? And I will be calling in a couple of days to talk to whoever you wanted to talk to, the main guy, and see what he thought, or if he asked for the services. Now, when you tell them, I will call you to ask about, you know, what do you think about getting my services? they will more likely give it to the person you asked, because if you call that person and say, hey, I left it with so-and-so, didn't they give it to you? They don't want to be held accountable. Like, hey, why didn't you give me, they said they dropped out. They don't want to hear all that. Like, why didn't you give me this form? They said they came by and talked to me and you never give it to me. So 9 times out of 10, they'll just give it to the boss. Hey, some random person dropped by and said they da-da-da-da. Or you can do it via email. Take your flyer that you created on the computer and just email it. Like, look up these companies, look at their business emails, and email this flyer to them with all your contact information. Bam. Or you can have these flyers printed and then put them in, like, on postcards or whatever, put them in little envelopes and mail them to these companies. As simple as that. That's how you market yourself. Trust, at least out of every 10 you send, you're gonna get at least one person that responds back to you. I know the key thing is trying to figure out, like, how do I even do the whole permit game? Like I said, every state is different. You got to go to your website, your city's website, find the permits. Say you're interested in to pool permits, pull up pool permits. Look at the details and requirements. They're saying, what do you need to pull a permit for pools? Look at all the information you need. Print you out a pool permit form and just, like, practice on it and learn all the information on it and like that. That way, when you do start doing it, you already know. There's money to be made in these fields and people don't even know. It's called a permit runner or notary permit runner or permit expediter. They're all the same thing. And what's cool is that since you're a notary, you don't have to, like, or outsource for that notary. You can charge to do the notarizations on those documents as well. So yeah, I don't know if that was as detailed as I wanted. My brain is all over the place. And yeah, I'm gonna dip out on here real quick, but I'll see you guys later in the next video.